the group 1 is so extended, continue then with the question number 1. Then group 7 will change you to question number 2. I hope there are mixed cultures there. Or you are all Kenyans? Okay, yeah. Group question number 2. And we have, can I say 5 minutes to do that? Oh, that's 2 minutes. 5 minutes, please, and we have started counting 5 minutes. Our 5 minutes are over. I hope you have already finished. Group number 1, give us your first answer. Group number 1A, and this is B. Group number 1A, give us your first answer. The others, please, let us be calm. Let us listen to the answers. These are questions that you get on the presentations when you receive, so you can still continue working on them even after this. Someone is speaking, please. Thank you.
Our question is, how do people traditionally or in the modern world communicate their concerns? Traditionally, in most cases, it was face-to-face, and
I'm not sure we are listening. I'm not sure the group down there is listening. What you've done is enough. What you've done is enough. Let's give group number 1A.
Okay?
Yes, that's better. Thank you.
Traditionally, the victims of abuse, they will communicate their concerns face to face, and in most cases it was talked about in very harsh terms, harsh tones, because of fear of stigmatization, and then also the victims were stigmatized, and they were told also to keep it under wraps to protect the image of either the family or the perpetrators. Now, in the modern world, because of sensitization, platforms have been provided where people now can come and communicate their concerns, like what we've had here. Others can also communicate now. They have been, because of awareness and advocacy, they are able now to express themselves and talk openly about these concerns, and because of the support system that comes with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Group 1A. B? Yes, Sami?
The addition we wish to make is people are also bringing out their issues on social media.
That is modern or traditional?
Modern.
Okay.
But traditionally, we express our concerns through mediators. We will tell a respected elderly person our problems, and then they will let the person, the offender, know.
Yes.
Then in modern society, people are also communicating through protests. They just run away from home and disappear. Then they come and tell what their problems are. Yes, or they go to the street. Higher. And then people are also going to court, and there's also what my sister mentioned, confrontation.
Thank you, thank you. 1B. Group number 2. Yes, group number 2 is talking about cultural issues.
Yes, we have agreed that there are cultural issues when it comes to reporting, and especially when you go to report family matters concerning gender-based violence. If a man goes to the police station to report, or even a lady, even the police will start telling you that this is a family issue. And even our culture, especially a man going to report, one is looked or despised. And we have a case, those of us who are Kenyans, you remember there was a case of one politician who was very senior and heading one of arm of the government. He was beaten by his wife, and he went to report to the police station. It was all over the media. And one of the politicians was laughing at him and saying, "How can you go to report to the police station when you are beaten by your wife? You're supposed to keep quiet." And nasema hiyo mambo ifanya nini? Those of our Kenyans, you can remember that case. So those are some of the issues that are there. Surely, yes, there are cultural issues about reporting.
Thank you. Let's go to before we come to group number 3, let's go to group number 7. They are still, they were handling that question also. Group number 7. This is 6.
Thank you. We are also handling the same question on cultural issues.
Yes.
And we came with similar to what they said, but we called it stigma. Stigma is the fear of how will people look at them when they report. And it happens mostly in our African setup. And we also looked at stereotype. Stereotyping is where the victim feels like they cannot share because maybe it's a man beaten by a woman.
Please don't explain.
Okay, thank you.
Our time is so bad. We said one answer.
Okay.
Let's go to group number 4 now.
Okay.
Please. Our time is so bad. Maybe in the future the organizer should make it 5 days so that we have time to even ask questions. Please, just one statement and do not explain. The Holy Spirit will interpret to us.
Okay, we were looking at whether there are existing reporting mechanisms for the communities and staff. We
Yes.
said yes, they exist. We're looking at the administration, the village elders, and also GBV personnel within the community. And then for the staff, we have the HR procedures and also the departmental heads. Whether the effectiveness is there, we didn't get to that because of time. Thanks.
That's another case. They could be existing, but we don't know how effective they are. They are there. Let's hear number 5. Number 5. Number 4, sorry. Number 4. Number 4. Sorry, I had jumped.
Yeah, for number 4, we are
Yes.
going for a straight answer. We will want to say it is yes and no.
Game short. Number 6. Question group 5. Yes and no.
For group number 5, some of the
Yes.
barriers are corruption, retrogressive culture, discrimination, unclear structures, political interferences, weak referral systems, and lack of resources.
Thank you so much. So many in one statement. Let's listen to group number. Where?
Still on 5 on the barriers. We are talking of gender bias. We are talking of ignorance, lack of a clear mechanism in place. All those make it very hard to report.
Yes. Group number 6.
Thank you. In John 8, where the woman was caught in adultery, there is also in 2 Samuel 13, when Tamar reported to her father, but also in Genesis 39, when Potiphar's wife reporting to her husband, to the husband.
Okay.
We would have found more, but the time was not on our side. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also have reporting, not necessarily on gender. We remember the case we had for Udia yesterday, and the people, the guns, they told the king that he did not go home. You remember that case? They reported that he did not go to sleep with his wife. He slept here with us. You remember that case, isn't it? And we also know the story of the Abigail. We know about her story, and the husband, and going to meet King David so that the husband is not destroyed, and so that the husband can be forgiven. Was that not reporting? Yeah. And how about the case of Hagar, when she was running away, she was now pregnant, and an angel of the Lord finds her and asks her, "Where are you coming from?" And then she says that she's running away from her mistress. You remember that? And then the angel of the Lord told her, "Go and obey your mistress." Praise the Lord. And another one that we got from John, third book of John. That book of John, John was saying that there's somebody who was bad-mouthing them. That book of John. Diotrephes. You know that story? He was talking wickedness amongst them. And so he says, when I go and come back, we will report that he has been bad-mouthing us. And we know when people talk bad about us, our emotions are hurt. Safeguarding. Praise the Lord. Wow. Give yourself a clap. You've done well. Yeah, the teacher in me, as a clap is good. So it's always good to appreciate what we are doing. And so we are saying we want to look at some of the barriers that we face. And I found that about the cases that are allowed here, 70 to 85%, what does that tell you? About 15% cases are reported. All the others go unreported. Is that not a serious matter? Yes, it's really a serious matter. And so we want to look at what are some of the barriers
And these barriers, we have classified them into two, the abused and also the caregiver. We've looked at it like that. We didn't really go into the perpetrator. Sometimes we don't think much about the perpetrator, which is really an oversight. And we are saying that, number one, the fear of not being believed that there was an abuse. And something that Madi talked about yesterday, the list of the things that the survivors need. One of them was being listened to and being believed. Reporting first, and then we will deal with the case. Yes. You report first. And when you report now, the process of reporting, we will come into that with it when Elisa comes to present. The process of reporting will now enable the case to continue, whether through the legal way or through the mediation way, whatever will be agreed upon. Yes? Someone wants to say something at the back? And we want to avoid many questions so that I can finish.
I just want to maybe comment something about her concern.
Yes.
Here we are talking about what can prevent me from reporting. Probably I don't know the law. I'm just thinking in my mind, if I report, I will lose custody of my children. So that in itself, before you even get to the point of looking at what the law says, can prevent me from reporting.
The statement is saying the fear of losing, the custody of the children. So the last one? The last one is that fear that freedom or independence will be lost if the abuse is going to be reported. You have no freedom in doing whatever you are supposed to be doing as a normal person. Because reporting has been done. You are fearing that you will have no independence of your own. You have no freedom of your own. People will look at you like the abused one. For the caregivers, this is maybe the people who are working in schools or children's home, or in the church, like the pastors and the others. One is that they worry much about being labeled the troublemaker. We are all right the way we are. So why are you now talking about this? So they fear that if I report this, the others will look at me as the troublemaker here, as the traitor, the one that doesn't want the institution to continue living in peace. The second one, the abuser may be well known and respected. The case that I was explaining, for example, in Kenya, where you are dealing with a senior person, you do not know where to report them, and so the person may choose to be quiet. Service providers may have limited knowledge about the needs of the abused people. Some may be working. Some of the many children's homes that we have seen even in Kenya. The people working there are just like house helps. They do not have much of any knowledge on abuse of the children that they are handling. They are just caregiving them. They are just taking care of them, cooking for them, washing their clothes, and everything else. But they may not be having the knowledge of what they are supposed to do just in case of an abuse. Others will worry about losing their job. Because some of the institution could be owned by individuals, so you fear that if I report, I may lose my job. If you report and the owner of the institution is closed, you have lost your job, others have lost their job, and the person that had employed you will also need to follow you up because you have tarnished their name according to them, which is not the case, but you are trying to save a situation. Lack of knowledge of the protocol of reporting abuse. That is also another case that they do not know. How do we report? Do I report it to the proprietor of the institution? Do I report to the police? Where do I take the case? Having no knowledge of where to report is also another problem. and the issue of policies and procedures, understanding how reporting is supposed to be done so that the person gets, they get their justice, because that is what we are looking at. So having policies, understanding. When Michael was talking about policies yesterday, he said that the policies could be in place, but even the people maybe in that institution don't even know that there is a policy. So they don't even know what is contained there. And therefore they may not even be knowing what are they supposed to do as far as abuse is concerned. And the last one is lack of awareness of what constitutes abuse or neglect. Because sometimes, like Bishop Ross said the other day, is it yesterday, that some cultures believe that if women are not beaten up by their husband, they are not loved. You know? They don't know whether that is an abuse. Yeah? For example, if my husband asked me not to work because I'm not lacking anything, people may not know that is an abuse, because I have a right to go and work and get money of my own. So if my husband asked me, not going to work, I will provide everything for me. Do women know that that is an abuse? Okay. Okay, I want to stop there, and I want to ask Lisa to come and continue with the other part of the reporting itself. And yesterday we were told that you clap for her until she comes, please. Clap for her until I give the mic. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. I will bring out the other topic on reporting and maintaining confidentiality. And I wish to say this. Before we go to anything, we can't safeguard if there is no one who reports. If nobody reports, we can't safeguard. So if nobody reports, we can't even look at the law. Because how will we look at the law if someone doesn't say something has been done to me? And I think that is what Sophia was trying to do, to speak about the reasons why people don't speak. In reporting is just giving information, informing the appropriate people and authorities on what has happened. And our theme comes from Ephesians 5:11, where we are told, take no part in unfruitful works. Ephesians 5:11, of darkness, but instead expose them. You know, sometimes as Christians, we think by keeping secrets, we are being better, by not exposing. So we are told to expose. In reporting, we are supposed to maintain confidentiality. In reporting, we safeguard people. We are saying that safeguarding policies, particularly in religious organizations, they are designated to prevent abuse. Now, if people don't report, the abuse goes on. I am a counselor by profession. I run a counseling office. One time, a girl came to my office. They do not want to report. They come to my office because they know I will keep confidentiality. She says, my father left me with a driver when he went to work, and he raped me 3 times, and the driver gave me money, gave me tablets, so that if I am pregnant, she was a Form 2 student, you can take them and the pregnancy will just go. So the father brought her to me, said, listen to her, write a report so that we can take to court. Then the daughter comes and says, I know what my father wants. My father wants to report the guy, and I do not want the guy to be reported. So I asked her why. She said, I do not want the guy to be reported. It is going to embarrass me, nitakuwa nashinda kwa mbao, nikiongea, nikisema nimerepiwa, then the whole world will know. So I called the father, I said, she doesn't want the matter reported. He said, I will not pay for the counseling sessions if you're not going to write a report. You see, she does not want to expose. Then she said, this guy is not even so bad. And I looked at her and I was thinking, what now? Then she says, I am born again. People will, what will I tell my pastor? What will I, she was the CU chairperson. And at some point we went on and on and on. And the sadness of the story is it wasn't reported. Because she said, even if you write a report, I will go and say it was not true. So you see, issues of reporting, probably if she had known, because I kept asking her, namwambia si lazima, it's not a must, you go and sit and get exposed. And she would say, where will I be? I will speak. So that is why we are speaking about reporting, so that people know it is different. When people understand safeguarding in the church and understand that it is literally reporting is going to safeguard people, understand that people who experience physical and emotional abuse are supposed to be safeguarded, and that the church has the role to make people report and endear people. You know, even on the pulpit, if the men of the clergymen speak a little about reporting, go tell the youth, if someone does something wrong to you, speak about it. You know, first of all, reporting is never spoken about, because if I go like I am the mother's and start telling the youth and the women, if anyone does something wrong to you, go and report. Maybe if my clergy, I have my clergy from my diocese, if they hear that, they'll ask me, why are you making women think they are not safe in church? So we are reporting, and we are going to answer questions on why, how, when, and so forth. Why report? When we report, when people report, they are protected. They prevent further harm to themselves. We build trust in the church. When people report, they know I can trust the church. I have heard many people say they are in the church because they are safe there. But not I am safe in church, because some of the people have suffered harm right inside the church. Now, when people, it means legal and denominational obligations. You know, we are supposed to actually, legally, when something bad happens, you're supposed to report. Doing a research on this, I read a place where the law says, if something bad happens to you and you don't report, you can still be sued for keeping it. Because what do you report? People report any disclosures, suspicions, and incidences involving children and vulnerable adults. You know, sometimes you ask yourself, if a woman in Mother's Union comes and says, I was abused, like I had a client who came from church, and she called me in the middle of the night and said, I have been raped by my husband. I did what we are saying, I almost judged her. First of all, I asked her how. Wrong questions, of course. And she said, it was on a Sunday afternoon, and she called and she was crying, and she said, he raped me. I said, husband. I said, how? Where? You see, this is a vulnerable adult child. We are supposed to report what happens when they consent. Inappropriate behavior by staff or significant others. This is about power. If a staff has been perpetrated by a junior, you're supposed to report anything that makes one feel uneasy. If you are around a person, for example, you are a cleaner in the church, and a senior person in that church keeps following you, watching over you, please report and say, this guy, every time I come and bend with a rag and I am cleaning, he's always behind me, he's always going to the corners. Trust your instincts. Probably you can be saved before the time comes for real abuse. Who to report to? Hello? It is true. You're supposed to report. Trust your instincts. Even the men. If this woman keeps on coming to your office all the time, she comes in very short skirts, and she comes and opens her blouse, please tell your PA, even if you're a bishop, tell your personal assistant, I am suspecting this girl is not up to any good. But will the men do that? Sorry? He's saying it's a virtual abuse. We are saying trust your instincts. You heard of that clergyman who died because the girl just tore her clothes. Before she does that, speak out. Then who do we report to? We report to the parish safeguarding officers, to the diocesan ones and the police, or social services if someone is in immediate danger. If someone is in immediate danger, like someone actually now has already been abused, you can avoid all those other places and rush to the police for easier intervention. Then designated safeguarding lead in schools and organizations and local safeguarding boards for more serious concerns. When do we report? We say if something happens or if you've been told something, report immediately when someone is in danger and as soon as possible for non-urgent concerns. Always take disclosures seriously, even when they seem minor. You know, the problem with us in the church, and I am saying this in due respect, sometimes when congregants go to the clergymen use the Bible, right? You don't listen carefully that this thing is so big and you decide, no, let me just read the word of God, speak to them and pray for them. You know, there is a story that is told of a father whose daughter was abused all the time when going to school. She tried speaking to her mom. The dad was a clergyman and he had a prayer room. So she decided if mommy is not hearing, I will go to my daddy who is going to listen. And the daddy said, the daughter said, I have a problem. I do not have inner wears because the boys steal them from me so that they can catch me easily. I don't know if it was the embarrassment of the clergyman because it was a daughter. He said, Mommy, every answer is in this Bible. Kneel down, placed, it was a lady who was actually giving a testimony in an Akada workshop, and placed a Bible on top of her head and prayed for her. Prayed so well and told her, go, you're safe. Was she safe? She was even in worse danger because when he didn't listen, she was raped again by a HIV positive man, and he threw her from home because you have violated the trust people have for me as a clergyman. The disclosure is not too bad. As much as possible, when someone reports, just talk about it. Then, we say the first thing is immediate action. Once someone comes to you and reports, let it be an issue of leverage. Do it immediately so that you can safeguard. If it needs the police, do that. Then go very far. Let us have internal reporting. As much as we are saying expose, we still have the church to safeguard, right? We don't have to throw beans all over before we know the facts. Do internal reporting. Concerns should be reported within the church first. Then after investigation, you can go out and do the other things that are necessary. Then referral to authorities. You can refer to various authorities. We have children protection services and all others that are within our law. Clear documentation. Reporting can be really sensitive. You might report and get in trouble because you did shoddy workmanship. You didn't do it accurately. You didn't document it accurately. If you don't do that, if you go ahead, go to the court of law and there is a self. So documentation is key, clear. All facts, including what was said, by whom, when, and any action taken. Don't just do a small rough thing. Make sure everything is enshrined in your report. Then confidentiality, information should be shared with individuals who need to know. Don't tell everyone. Actually, one of the challenges or one of the reasons people don't even report is the problem of confidentiality. I was raped and 10 people know that in the institution. You know, a girl comes and says, he touched me indecently. Before she even leaves your office, you've called a friend, you've gone to and it will be more detailed. Then clear channels. Ensure that the process for reporting is clear to all the parties. Actually, don't do things alone. When it comes to reporting, involve the parties that brought up that issue. Then, responding to safeguarding concerns, we have do's and don'ts. The first do is listen to the person without interrupting. Most of us have a problem of using our ears, even when it's not an abuse. Communication skills are the ones that make people either talk or shut up. I come to you and I want to tell you, my husband beat me last night. And instead of listening to me with your heart, you start telling me that's the normal thing. No, it's not the normal thing. Listen to me. Maybe I have a story. In counseling, we say, if you listen carefully, you hear what is not said. You know, sometimes you need to hear what is under the sleeves there. So listen without interrupting. Reassure them that they have done the right thing by reporting. Don't start asking them, what do we do now? Now you have told me. What did you want me to do? This is not counseling. Counseling is where we ask people, what do you want us to do? In reporting, don't start putting them in precarious situation of thinking, should I have gone to him? Should I have gone to her? Then be calm, neutral, and professional. Sometimes when people bring up issues that are looking really bad, let me give this bad example. If someone came and told you, my bishop almost raped me. You know, I don't know, I am laity. I don't know what I would do. I would betray myself because I would look very shocked. It is important, however bad the news is, for you to try and be calm. You know, as a counselor by profession, sometimes you're told very bad things and you put almost a straight face because you don't want to make the person think, I am shocked. You know, I once got a pastor in my office who said, I have come because I am gay. And I actually developed goosebumps, and he realized I was shaken. I was shaking a little. He said, you're shocked? I said a bit, but we can continue. And I told myself, Lisa, he came for. Sometimes people come to report things that are really shocking. Stay calm. Don't make them feel, stay neutral. Stop asking them. So, you know, sometimes they have done something wrong. Stay neutral until you get the whole report. Then, the don'ts. Don't promise. we have exceptions of confidentiality. Here you have to tell people that this information must go to the police, so I do not for you to receive help. Then don't pressure the individual to disclose details. There comes a time when people tell us, report things not even necessary to you, or even to the, for action. You know, if someone comes, we are told, I am not trying to teach counseling, but in counseling there's a questions that are, do not ask them information that is your personal agenda, curiosity. Don't use curiosity. Ask what is within the information you need. Why does he want to know that? Like if someone says, I had, you know, like they come and say, I have been in a relation. Information of that report, don't over-prod them. They will be uncomfortable. Then there comes a time when someone makes a report, my uncle raped me. Then you pick a phone and start, let me call him. You don't do that. You're making the situation worse at such things. The legal and ethical considerations, in many countries, there are laws and policies to safeguard. So keep using concerns may be legally liable in some jurisdictions. I said that. I said you should encourage people to report because to be reported. You know, that case went on and on because the father wanted to kill the man. You know, there comes a time when people keep quiet and say, like Amnon, Tamar didn't report even to David directly. Neither did his brother Absalom report. He just told her, give me time and I will kill him. Do we really want even the perpetrator to die? No. We want the perpetrator to live and change. So it is important not to go that direction. Now, confidentiality. In reporting, confidentiality is very important. One, it is important to assure the person reporting that your information is safe with me. However, we said confidentiality does not mean secrecy. You have to tell them this information has to be passed on to other people for intervention. While reporting concerns, maintain confidentiality. But don't withhold important information. You see, if you say, yeah, it's true, someone wanted to rape them, but I am not going to talk about it. You are as good as not safeguarding anyone. Then let us look at the confidentiality boundaries. The church should be clear on the guidelines on what information can be shared and with whom it is going to be shared. Who is going to be told that? When you draw these policies, we're coming to draw, they should be clear who should handle information coming from the victims. Then informed consent. This one has been spoken about a lot. When someone comes to speak to you about something to report, there is something we call informed consent. You must give them a clear explanation on what you're going to do, who you're going to tell, how you're going to do it, so that they can be comfortable. Don't tell them it is okay, leave it to me, I know what to do. They're not comfortable with you know what to do. They're comfortable with clarity. They're comfortable with you telling the knowledge of where they're going. Because we say it is safety. If you tell them, I know what to do, they will go and get depressed. Because they're thinking, what will they do? What if it backfires on me? What if I am called upon? What if the perpetrator harms me again? So tell them, make sure you give them all the information so that they can give you an okay to move on with that information. Then documentation, I spoke about it quite clearly. Documents, when you take the clear document, when you take down information clearly, don't leave it on your desk. Because people are so curious. They'll keep coming and checking to see what did that girl say, you know. Counseling office, I used to have a secretary, a front office girl. And every time she saw men come in, because she'd look and think, what is this man coming to say in counseling? She would go, and the way he's a senior in this county, he has marital problems. Then I said, how did you get that? She said, I saw it in the cabinet, in the file. You know now what I had to do? I had to get a key. So don't leave, even if you are a senior person like the bishops and you trust your PAs, or you are a senior clergy, or you're in an office, don't trust that it is okay. Then legal requirements. Certain disclosures might override confidentiality. Legally, you need to speak about it, especially when these cases safeguarding professionals, and church leaders must ensure they act in accordance with the legal and ethical requirements as far as confidentiality is concerned. The guidelines of confidentiality are just almost what I said. Do not promise absolute confidentiality. Don't tell them, I am telling you, I am about it. You know, even when, you know, we say a secret is only for one. Because for two, the second one will tell the other one. Tell them, record secure, that one I said, explain to the persons, that is informed consent. Now, in church, we choose confidentiality and duty of care. Sometimes confidentiality might mean causing. Confidentiality literally means ensuring sensitive information is protected. Duty of care is you have the duty to care for a person. Then we have the key principles in confidentiality and reporting. Protect first, investigate second. Don't rush at investigating. The perpetrator is swearing, I am going to kill her. In the case of the girl I spoke about, every time that man was confronted, loses his job. Then when the girl said, you can't kill my father, the man said, I will kill you. So she was taken away from a town in the village for safety, so that investigation took place while she was away. Act with policy and law. As much as we are doing a policy in the church, if we do not align, then we know it. Do you believe that? The men out there, the laity and the people out there know the law more than we even know it. So we have to align with the law of our lands, our different lands. Then we said in the key principles, document accurately. This one I want to keep repeating it, because you have had churches have been sued by their own. Churches have been sued by people out there, and they have been defeated sometimes because of not doing right. Is purely about what we are supposed to be doing. If you want to have effective reporting and confidentiality, people have to be trained. You have to sensitize people about it, and you have to have clear safeguarding policies. You cannot report if you and support. When people report, they are usually in a turmoil. When people have been perpetrated, they are not comfortable. Make sure as you investigate, as you do all these things, you are taking care of their hearts. You're free to send them to maybe a counselor. just to, I kept feeling pain. I kept saying, she is not healed. Because when we heal from our problems, we don't they don't elude emotions. No, she was crying from care, give counseling care so that even when she speaks and her business is good, she's happy, right? Because she's still bitter with that husband. That is what I made from her procedures. The church should offer pastoral care for both of them, the person that is the victim and the perpetrator. You know, even that perpetrator, you see, David repented to God, of course, after going through a lot of pain. I believe it was comforting for him to hear God say, making them navigate to the next step. Don't leave them at that. You know, like the people who have done mediation like me, we believe mediation will do everything. In safeguarding, we can't just do mediation. We don't want to call the perpetrator and the victim and tell them, shake hands, for someone to go and do evil to other people. Give them that chance to feel better, but don't, feeling better doesn't make them feel like they have not done wrong. You have raped, you will face your consequences. But let me listen to you. Where did you going to face the law as it were? In conclusion, I have been moving so fast. I don't know how my time is. We are saying safeguarding within a church context is delicate balance in reporting concerns, promptly maintaining confidentiality when appropriate, and taking action to ensure safety. So you must do prompt, underline. You must training people on how to receive the reports and even on how to give the reports. Setting clear expectations around confidentiality. The lady who was asking about losing custody of children. A person looks, if you listen to the girl who reported here, or other people who report, reporting, in everything that you disclose, there are two sides of it. You lose something and you die there than lose my children. If we can get that mentality out of them and tell them there is a law, you might lose them temporarily, but when the law takes in reporting and receiving reports. Thank you.
Wow, what is all this about reporting? How do we keep the old issue of confidentiality? Question, comment for the two.
My question is about reporting and even that confidentiality, the more so about the boy child. The date when we reported, we have that man who was reporting about what that church elder did to him. And at the time he was finishing the reporting, he apologized him if I'm harming anybody. That is actually the situation of the boy child. Or what we have done, or what, as if the boy child is not much affected. And we know that they are very much affected. They really fear on how to report the boy child. We have talked much about the girl child.
Maybe you can respond to that first.
Thank you so much. Maybe I gave examples about the girl child a lot, but everyone is affected. young man who spoke here said it's hard for men to report. Generally, men have issues in disclosure. And as I ended, I said training. Training was not for women. Training on sensitization and creation of awareness on reporting and demystifying the fears that are there when you report is what will save the boy child. I believe the young man who reported because someone somewhere, the crew, made him feel safe, that even if you report, you're going to be safeguarded.
Thank you. Just a question about how you respond to a case which involves two minors, where the girl is impregnated by a boy her age, and both are minors. And just thinking, at what point does the girl become, how now then do you proceed to report?
I wonder whether this will be, oh, sorry.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask a question. It's a general observation from what we've been looking at since we came up to now. We spend more time being told about how we can help the abused people. And what I've realized is that most of the offenders or abusers are the people whose wounds are not well recovered. May I recommend, if it's possible, to organize and learn how we can heal or help those offenders, because if their wounds are not recovered, if you don't help them, keep harming people. That's one question. Another question is about reporting. The Bible tells us not to take.
I was saying mine would probably be a comment or probably a struggle, and just thinking of the realities. One of the things that I think generally as a church we will be struggling with is, differentiating. And I'm glad that you spoke about the processes of reporting, including clear documentation. From where I'm seated as a bishop, one of the things I struggle with, and he's sleeping with these women and this, and with these men. And the people who are telling you, when you begin to pursue further, they are not willing to messages, But when you tell them, can you let me have the messages? They're like, okay, we do not want people to lose jobs because of me. And so you are left wondering. But again, there is, a lot of complaints. There's so much immorality, Bishop, in the church. But again, I'm like, so what do I do? You people, and go through, and I guess my colleague Bishop's hold, especially for the women, they will come and sort of like they want to confide in you. And we have had many stories. The reality is we have had stories, including female clergy who come and they are confiding and they are telling you, you feel like you want to believe, and they are telling you, please, Bishop, don't disclose it. And so this whole problem continues. So that's why I said, I wonder whether it's a comment or a question, but we have to solve a problem. There is a problem. Everybody sees there's a problem, but in fact now it exposes the person who is being reported to, like in this case, the bishop, where people begin to think, you know, you are not doing anything about these abuses, yet you know, people say, but there's nothing you are doing about it.
Thank you so much. Let's take the last three.
May I?
Let's take the last three, please. So,
Myself? Yeah. Very quickly. Number one is on confidentiality. I think I agree with you totally on what you said on confidentiality. But if somebody, because this is on safeguarding, and our parameter is on safeguarding only. Otherwise, you can make it too wide and we may not be able to handle. When somebody comes and tells you of an abuse, while it's good to protect them with confidentiality, you also need to help them know that you cannot keep that matter to yourself, that you will need to report to somebody who can be able to follow up on the matter. Otherwise, if we keep emphasizing on confidentiality, we miss on the aspect of assuring them that you've recorded, you've taken their telephone number, and maybe, depending on the case, you will be able to report it to a safeguarding officer who will be able to follow. If it is in Kenya, you may go into the legal process as you may know best. So confidentiality, I thought, we needed to tilt it a little so that it's not just secrecy, it's actually about helping that person to know that by telling the right people, it is for their good. Secondly, it's a question that Bishop Rose has asked on matters of people reporting of fornication and adultery. Is that a safeguarding matter or is that a discipline issue? So that we don't make safeguarding too wide that we bring even discipline issues. In my understanding, and Mandy and Kim is here, when it comes to safeguarding, it's about children. It's about children, and number two, vulnerable adults. Otherwise, other issues like the ones being referred here, they are more of discipline issues within our workplace.
I just wanted to say something about the boy child. You know, it looks like most of the aggressors mentioned here is the boy child. But now let's look at the Anglican Church setup. The Karma department, a general overview, is very docile. It's not active. And most men, the boy children, they lack mentorship. So maybe we need also to up our bit, so that much as the Mothers Union is playing their part, we also have the Karma department also creating mentorship sessions for the boy child.
through in the journey of doing counseling. Number two,
it is not absolute. There is nothing like confidentiality when it comes, like absolute confidentiality when it comes to this abuse and all that. Even actually in the counseling itself, confidentiality is not absolute. There are exceptions that you inform someone. Then I agree with Sammy when you say there is a difference between issues of safeguarding and discipline cases. Actually, as we do the safeguarding policy, I guess you are bringing an awareness to safeguarding issues and discipline issues, because if we go that direction, we will not even handle anything. Then issues of rumors, and as I have learned, why we are not able to discipline people is because there is no evidence. When it is says I was abused and they have all the information and even witnesses, it is just like in the court of law. You can't run to the police and tell them, I have. There will be evidence where you were robbed, what happened. So even in safeguarding, let us deal with issues that literally safeguard from what. A case of two minors, there is always an offender and the offended, whether they are minors, even your little children. When they fight and one hurts the other, there must be an offender and there must be someone who's been offended. So you cannot ask how it will be reported, because you will know. You know, I was a teacher one time. A girl reported that she had been impregnated by a boy. Both were in Form 1. And this Form 1 boy is a girl. He's a minor. He does not even... The panel, he said he cannot even ejaculate. He is so young. So the boy was called and he came and said, the pregnancy is mine. So the boy, he said, why did she consent? No. I gave her beer, she took, and I had sex with her, and she got pregnant. So even when they're crying because there was a perpetrator. Now, about how to help the offenders. I think these are eye-openers. As we write the policies beyond the pastoral care, if the offender is found guilty, it will go to court, it will go somewhere else, and you will know how to deal with the offender. Who pastors the pastor? I'm asking the bishops, who pastors the pastors? Who pastors the bishop even because he's on the... All right. Let me say this as I come to go to the safeguarding officer. There are other mechanisms of acting on that information. But if you are the safe, don't keep it to yourself. It has to go to the other channels in the diocese or in the parish or wherever you are. Because of time, our moderator says,
so that we are able to finish a number of other things. And let's appreciate our team, let's appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. We cannot exhaust time allocated, that is 16:30. We are supposed to have a session on the bishop's response to... Emily will not be with us in the afternoon. She'll be leaving after lunch. So we want to give her the remaining, it's less than 20 minutes before lunch, so that she can, Bishop Emily come, Kim will be giving some information. Welcome, Bishop, and Kim.
Sorry, just before we... at a resource that the Safe Church Commission has developed that is called Responding Well When Abuse is Disclosed or Reported. And it covers a lot of what was covered today. So if you were sat, and the one thing I just wanted to highlight from that, the difference between disclosure and reporting. And Lisa spoke about that when we come to report, we've got to believe that the benefit to us is going to be more than the cost, because we're going to lose things when we report. Our privacy, people could judge us, so there's a cost involved, and we've got to believe that speaking about it is going to benefit me more. For the first time, they're ready to disclose. They're ready to just tell their story to somebody who will listen well. And they believe that the cost of disclosing, but at that point, they might not yet be ready to report formally, because that costs even more. And then our pastoral care journey, which will start all these other processes, like the court process and the legal process and statements being taken and all of that. So I think that...
Thank you. Let's appreciate Bishop Emily as she goes up. Let's appreciate her. Appreciate her better. Thank you.
We were in a panel, so the panel will continue its discussion. So I only have to give a small perspective, because the bishop's role in safe church. One of the things discussing with some of is that the bishop somehow in East Africa seem to be the authority. Actually revolve around what the bishop takes seriously. And if the bishop doesn't prioritize anything, it will not. When bishops are being consecrated, they are given power, they are given responsibility, but they will also be finally. I think if safe church has to work, then bishops must be committed and prioritize the issue of safe church. At our strategic plans, where does safe church land? In our strategic plan. In Kenya, I know we prioritize income generation and development we were discussing with one bishop and saying, of course, I have to have a big cathedral, which will be my legacy. But I was saying, history is what people choose, you know, to say about something. But I think the impact you make in people's lives is very key. And for me, one of the main roles of the bishops is to prioritize and have commitment so that everybody else can have commitment to save church, empowering everybody. Secondly, the prophetic role of the church. In Kenya, we always say the bishop is the church. And many times, issues are taken seriously if the bishops speak about it. We were discussing and people were looking at the prophetic role of the church in Kenya. And most of us think our prophetic role is to talk of politics. I remember we were discussing with Bishop Ross over the situation in Butere. And many people wondered, why, Bishop Ross, why don't you call a press conference and talk about what politicians are doing? And Bishop Ross said, my priority is the girls and their dignity. And whoever I have to speak to, I have to speak to them about the dignity of the girls. I think sometimes we don't prioritize safe church. Our prophetic role somehow goes to political issues where you'll get the headlines. And if nothing gives you headlines, you don't talk about it. Somebody raised the issue. There has been so much femicide and killing of children. And people asked me, why haven't we seen the bishops talking about it? If the president did something, we'll even call each other from our dioceses and come to Nairobi and make a press statement. We are told 65 women died in 3 months because of femicide. Most of them are our church members. Where is our prophetic role? We are discussing some of these other things. This conference would end up with a press statement. I wonder whether we will have a press statement. Over several people coming from several countries in East Africa and talking about safe church. I have not seen in the program us having a press statement. So what is our role? Do we just talk when it is politics? And yet we have all these bishops together. And if they made a statement, I think it would shake the country. But we select what we make statements about. Bishops, the church as a place of healing. What are we, the people who people approach when things are tough? I worked with one chaplain, people who want to talk to me, who are seeing in me a person they can confide in. How approach and talk to when I'm going to their parish? What are they thinking of? Is it thank God? I think finally I want to say that the church must come up with policies and come up with policy and structures. I'm honest, in Kenya here, we are told we have very good policies. But to be honest, if I asked our bishops, really don't go to where it matters. I think we must contextualize these policies so that when we come from here, it was not just another conference. Policies and what structures are there in. We are the ones who create those structures. Those are where, when we look at the budget, we are cutting costs because we don't prioritize safe spaces. Where is the safe space? You know, if somebody is being abused, where is the safe space we can take them? Some of the right things, protection of the victims. And one of the issues we have been talking about here is the clergy. Some of